Lutheran Church in Southern Africa is a confessional Lutheran church, having strong links with the church in Germany. Yes, we have 5 dioceses, that's Botswana, and 4 within South Africa, and altogether it's 5. The total number of congregations is 195 and 52 parishes. Our church has been a church of the village. Started out in villages, and it took a longer time for the church to get established in towns and major cities like it is now. It's a church that prides itself being obedient to the scriptures. And it's a church that also prides itself being mission-driven. We address issues that are in the society through this word without changing it to be like a makeshift or a tailor-made theology. Scripture speaks to these social issues and has done so over the ages. That we are very much conscious of the social challenges that are here in the country, especially the issue of HIV and AIDS, that our dioceses, which there are 5 of them, are working hard in addressing the challenge of HIV and AIDS in terms of prevention, in terms of awareness, in terms of making people who are affected, infected, feel loved by Christ who died for all of us. Besides HIV and AIDS, reaching out to those people who are really cut down by HIV and AIDS. We have in KwaZulu-Natal a project that's geared towards vulnerable, children that have no parents. About 22 houses have been built to house those children. And then we also have Women's League, a very dynamic group of people that are helping, supporting our pastors, also helping parishes, building churches with their fundraising. And of course there's youth also across the country, dynamic group also, with challenges too. Young people are like the sea. Sometimes the tide is high, sometimes it's low. But as pastors, we need to maintain that fatherly, loving attitude, that we always show them that we love them, we support them, we nurture them. And I think this is exciting for us. With the advent of the new South Africa and the African leadership, an interesting aspect has come into the church, that we have moved from being strictly, in terms of liturgy and music, strictly like German. We have revamped our singing, mostly in those churches that are led by indigenous pastors, that the singing is really African. Still using the same hymnal, but the melodies have changed. We have moved away from the traditional, European melodies and have adopted the African melodies that are sung commonly by churches here. And that has brought another positive identity, that we are Lutheran, but we are Africans. That we can be Lutheran in terms of content and be African in terms of how we express the Lutheran content, the biblical content, without being the same as is done in European or American Lutheran family setup.
ila damu yake Bwana, sina wema wa kutosha, dhambi zangu kuziosha. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama. Njia yangu iwe ndefu, yeye unipa wokovu, mawimbi yakinipiga, nguvu zake ndiyo nanga. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama. Kwake Yesu nasimama, ndiye mwamba ni salama.
We have Botswana, and then we have Liberia, we have Ghana, and we've got students from Sudan, Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, up to now, and we'll have some more now from, for the first time, from Nigeria, which is exciting.
I teach here. I am the ordained pastor of the Lutheran Church in Southern Africa. The people who go out into our congregations, I think they will be the inspiration coming out of our seminary here.
The upcoming Lutheran leadership would have studied together, would have shared success stories and challenges still at seminary, and would have solidified the confessional identity across the continent. That it's a wonderful mixture, of God's people, under the cross. We have 3 partners now. First one is the Southern Illinois District that supports seminary and also supports projects within the LCSA. Very important. The other one with the Rocky Mountain District is specifically for the seminary. Germany, through the Blackma, has assisted us in a way to see to it that the seminary has a facility, financial facility to pay its bills on a monthly basis, and that has helped us quite immensely. So those are the partnerships that have been so much of a blessing to the church, and we wish that they continue for a time. But there will be a point where we will say, with God's help, the church now has to shoulder those responsibilities. See, our church, as I said, came, developed from the countryside. So the education in most of our people was very, very low. Now we are seeing more and more educated young people, we call them young adults, coming up in the church.
We are old or we are young or whatever, but we do have a church and it is taking care of us. So when people, after all the troubles they went through, of apartheid, of this and that, this all can be washed away. The perspective can be changed. Because the ministry is not a ministry of revenge. It is a ministry of bringing people together. It doesn't matter where they come from originally. It doesn't matter how they look like, and it does not matter what is their color. The ministry is of bringing together people and to empower them in the way that we have found empowerment. We can share the same kind of power with the people so they deal with their own challenges which they have, people who are still poor. I always say it is a privilege that we have to do this ministry.